fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale micro and macro targets for this cycle. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so I have not forgotten that I was asked to do this. I just have been really busy with a bunch of other stuff, so I apologize, but we're going to go ahead and get into these targets right now. So let's talk about it. All right, so the idea here is real simple. We'll basically just do Fibonacci retracements from, wrong tool. Fibonacci retracements from the tops to the lows here. In this case, we're looking at a micro top to a micro bottom. That's basically how you would do the bullish retracement, and the bearish would be the opposite from the bottom to the top. Okay, so what we're looking at here is basically ranging anywhere from about $83, $84 all the way up to about $225, which is pretty close to the previous all-time high, but not quite. So you might be looking at maybe like a 25x on this. I suspect, and again, I could be totally wrong about this, but I suspect we're probably going to get that big rally in crypto after July 4th. And I say that because that is when the big, beautiful bill, supposedly everybody thinks that it's going to be announced on the 4th of July because it makes sense, right? The 250th anniversary of the United States, Independence Day. So it's currently in the House, not the House, the Senate right now. So once it gets past the Senate, Trump should sign it, and then it'll be passed into law. It's like a $4 trillion spending bill. But on top of that, people suspect he's probably going to delay it until the 4th of July. So we'll see. Anyways, regardless of that, so we're looking at the macro here on LTCN. So you got 850 going all the way up to 2300. I know it seems impossible that these targets can be hit, but trust me, I've been doing this a long time, and I have seen a lot of things in these markets that would, if I had not already experienced it, I would have thought to be impossible, like the quantum stocks doing a 60 to 70x. I'm referring to stocks here, by the way, not crypto. Seeing certain cryptocurrencies do 5, 6, 700, 1,000 X's. Just stupidly insane stuff. Again, the conditions in the markets have to be right. So I would say likely the big, beautiful bill and then some rate cuts, perhaps even some of the tariff deals being cemented in stone would probably cause these markets in general to rally. So I don't know what the exact number is here on this one. It looks like maybe about probably a 30x or so. So pretty good returns. It could definitely happen. It's also possible it may happen at a time when we least expect it. Maybe it doesn't happen this year. Maybe it happens next year. It's hard to say. It could still happen this year. It's definitely possible. I mean, we got 6 months left. So, all right. So we got BCHG again, the bullish retracement. If you guys are wondering how to do this, it's basically from the whatever swing high you're looking at to the swing low. In this case, that is the first most recent ones. So we have 36 going up to 100. And then for the macro one, obviously a lot bigger target. Again, this is the previous bull market top to the previous bull market bottom, assuming that is actually the bottom. So again, this thing hit all-time highs in 2020 to 20, and the bear market was in 2022, so that would be right. Okay, so we got, it looks like about 105 going all the way up to 275. So you could be looking at least maybe a 40, 50x on this one. Again, as the price goes lower, the multiples to the upside increase. The risk in a bullish position is that you can lose 100% of your money, and whatever the asset is you're invested into can go to zero. So keep that in mind. The short side is much more risky than the long side because you can lose more than your initial capital. So do keep that in mind. All right. So now doing this one, which is the HSN, we're looking at anywhere from 1250 going up to 31. So pretty much marks exactly the all-time high here. And then going from the, got to drag this a little bit further, going from the macro top to the macro bottom here, we're looking at anything from, looks like about just shy of 50 all the way up to 125. So big gains here, anywhere from like a 70 to maybe like a 125x. Okay, ETCG. We got 2750 to about 66, so pretty good returns on that one. That's maybe about a 7x. I mean, a 7x is still pretty good. I would not be upset about that. If it was me personally, I definitely would not be upset with a 700% return. Okay, so 156 to 400 here. Again, the numbers are pretty insane. So you're looking at roughly about a 40x. But I saw myself Doge, the Dogecoin, right? Back when it was actually quite cheap. When it was, I think, 1/10 of a penny, I watched it go from that to 75 cents. So you're talking a 750x move. Trust me, guys, if it's your first time in crypto, I know it seems ridiculous, but when it happens, you will be completely shocked. Okay, so 54 to 125 here. So maybe about a 6x on this one. And then actually this, hold on a second, this is going to be wrong. Okay, so yeah, so we need the market top to the market bottom. I'm doing this wrong. This one goes way far back, all the way to 2019. Okay, now we got it. So we got 74 going all the way up to 185 on this one. So maybe about a 6x. You can see that this yellow line here that I give you guys on the typical videos, this does line up perfectly with the 1.618. That's that first bull target level. So interesting to see that coincide there. Okay, next one, because this did actually hit its, well, assuming that is the bull market top, it could just be a local level, but we'll just say it's a local level for now. So assuming that's the local level to the retracement here, again, if the price has hit all-time highs in this cycle because it's on 4-year cycles, then theoretically we should be using whatever the most recent all-time high is. So 46 to 130 here. So you got roughly about maybe like 100x or so. Or maybe not 100x, like 80x, I think is probably a bit more accurate on this one. Okay, FILG. I mean, it could be 100x if it ultimately goes to all-time highs, new all-time highs. That could definitely happen. Okay, so 660 to 1,700 here on FILG. 1,700 that's a massive gain. I mean, that's like I don't even know what that is. That's like a 50x, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's huge. That's really huge. Okay, so GLIB goes from 125 to about 335 on this one. So maybe like a 40x. Okay, so we got G-Link next. Again, it already hit a new all-time high this cycle, so we're just doing one retracement on this. So we got 360 going all the way up to 950 here. 950 would be, I think, roughly about a 50x or so, 50 maybe 60x. Okay, GSOL, and yes, I know they did a stock split on this one. Yeah, that's what that little orange circle right there is. That is a symbol for a stock split. So 175 to 470 on this one. This one is roughly about a 30x. Still pretty good return if you ask me. Okay, so GXLM. This one did not hit its all-time high, or a all-time high, I should say, on this cycle. So we're going to do two on this one. So we got 106 going all the way up to about 260. Excuse me. And then next here we got, looks like 152 going all the way up to just shy of 400. We'll call this one 390. So, somewhere about a 19x, 20x, something like that, which in my opinion is definitely possible. Okay, so next one here, Mana. The underline for this one, I was just going to mention this. Funny enough, the underline token last cycle went from 2 cents to $6 in that cycle. So I can't remember if the bottom was 3 cents or 2 cents, but it was somewhere in there. So it was about a 200 to 300x. So again, if the underlying can do it, then these things can definitely do it. Okay, so 113 to about 305 in this case. It's, well, about 100x, so roughly about half the move. I mean, again, put $100 in, make 10,000. If you could risk $100, would it be worth it if it did pay out? Even if it only did a 10x, in my opinion, it would still be worth it. I mean, if you have the means to be able to invest $100 and you don't need to worry about losing it. Again, the whole idea of never invest more than you can afford to lose, right? And it just so happens that it does end up going to do 100x and makes $10,000. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody and their brother is going to want that. So, but there is risk. Obviously, you could lose your money, so make no mistake about that. 16 to 37 here, and I'm not actually going to give the targets on that one. I'm sure you guys can figure it out because we got a bigger level here. So next level on this one, and this is going to be the last one here, Zcash is 63 to about 162. So roughly about a 40x move on this one. And just to kind of get an idea here, and I know you guys are going to say, you're going to be like, well, the underlying token's not really linked to the trust itself. I mean, yeah, sure, there is that. I mean, they're two different products, so to speak. One's traditional markets, one is the actual crypto markets. But as soon as I can find it here, I swear I had it. There it is. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what is actually possible here, and it's going to seem kind of ridiculous that I'm going backwards on this. I'll look another chart up here in a minute, but if we just went from this swing low here back to the previous swing high of the previous cycle, which again was nothing, it was like 400, 500 bucks or something. That's a 2,500% move. I mean, to go from 15 to 400 is still I don't know what that is, like a 25x. Okay. All right, so let me see if I can find one with a longer chart. Here we go. All right, so we use the Binance one. So this one does have price action going back pretty far. And again, I'm not sure that this would actually happen. And I'm pretty sure that was a liquidation candle right there. I don't think that's actually real. But we'll just hypothetically say it did go from $7 all the way up and back to $8.50, whereas the actual all-time high on this thing it's 11,000%. So that's a massive move. Even if it went from 15 to 850, I mean, you're still talking like at least a 50x move. So like I said before, if it can happen in the underlying, it can happen in any crypto asset. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's in traditional markets or not. And the things that I think that we're likely waiting for is the whole tariff thing to be finished and over with, get the big beautiful bill passed and signed off on, because again, you guys may not be thinking about this, but if the House and the Senate approve the bill, it's $3.7 trillion last time I looked, and the president signs it off. Once the president signs it off, it's signed into law, which means that if it's worth $3.7 trillion, the Federal Reserve has no choice but to print the money, because the boss of the Fed is Congress, okay? And they signed off on it, which means that if there is any articles or any of the verbiage in there that says that they have to print a certain amount of money, guess what? They have to. They don't have a choice, because if they don't do it, they're going to lose their jobs, and the government may threaten to shut the Fed down. And I'm pretty sure they don't want that. So I've told you all this before. That could happen. Okay, that could be another form of QE, and then the QE itself by the rate cuts could also happen. So stuff to think about. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.